It's your girl Amber Beauty, and we are back with another. Don't know what that intro was at all. Literally don't know what that was at all. But told you guys that I was gonna try and keep up and do the constant thing with the YouTube ting. Feel me? And here we are, back again. And I feel like you guys are gonna like this one a lot because you tell by the title, who doesn't want to get into all the colleges? Like, this is just like, who doesn't? You know? You know. Okay, anyways. So, there isn't really a lot, like, obviously it's a lot. College process is a long, hard process. It's not hard, it's just stressful. Yeah, less hard, just more stressful. It's not like anything you probably haven't heard, nor is it anything that's like, like, oh, ignore this. This is like the tag. I just got the chair, but like I'm just too lazy to take it off. So you see the pink peek out? Like peek out? Don't know. It's just that. Anyway, I'm gonna give you just my personal advice as to what I did to get where I am. For those who don't know, I'm a sophomore in college right now. I go to Stony Brook University, which is in New York. You probably hear my accent. Yes, I'm British. Lived in New York City. I'm in a different part of New York now, but I've lived in New York City most of my life. I guess I'm just giving you guys like a little backstory about my life right now, but hey, listen, man. I've lived in New York City most of my life. So, which I thought I should have written like a list down on my phone, but I'll remember it from my head. Basically, so SAT. What did I get in my SAT? I got a 12. I'm gonna say it was a 1240. No, it was 100% 1240. See, this is why you're supposed to write things down when you're about to talk to people and have a whole conversation and everything. Got 1240 on my SAT. I guess that was the first SAT I took, and then I took it like 3 more times, or 2 more times, I believe. I got lower scores than the other two, so I don't know why I did that. And the SAT is funny because it's like it depends on the curve. So like your grade, for those who don't know, if you're listening and maybe you don't even know, even if you're from America, you don't even know what's going on. Basically, SATs have a curve, right? So based on your thing will be based on how everyone else performed on their test, and that's how they will grade you basically. So if everyone does super well, then there's not as much of a curve. I don't know, I'm saying that a lot. It really sounds like a scam, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna just move on. Basically, if everyone does well, there's not as much of a curve. So they can't, a curve is basically, like bonus points. That's like the best way I can describe it. I knew a better way to describe it, but like I can't think of one anymore. But basically, yeah, curve. Think of a curve as like extra credit. So if everyone does well on the test, you don't get extra credit. So there's not really as much of a curve. Now, if everyone doesn't do that well on the test, then there's a big curve. So people can get more bonus points here and there. So I think the first test I took was the hardest of all of them because I think it depends on the month you take it in. Can change how that they do change the level of the test depending on the month you take it. So I took the very first one in March of the year of my junior year, and I took it in the March of my junior year. So that was the first one of that year. And I think they make that the hardest one on purpose. And then the next one I took was 10 times easier. I know I got like every question on that test right, but there wasn't as high of a curve. So I guess because it was so easy, everyone did so well. So everyone's scores were kind of low, and there was actually articles and everything about how people's scores were low on that specific test. So I knew it wasn't just me. And I read and learned up on all of it, and it was because of the curve and all that kind of stuff. I'd heard people and teachers use the word curve in school, but I never actually personally understood what it meant. Especially considering like sometimes I'm kind of sidetracking, but it does have to do what I'm talking about for those who like might have like immigrant parents or whatever, or parents that didn't go to school in America and all that kind of stuff. If you have any questions about anything that maybe your parents can't answer for you, just you can leave it in the comments and I'll try and help you as best as possible, because I do know that when you don't, have that many people around you or close to you, especially adults who've like already been through the whole thing, it's kind of hard to navigate it yourself. So like when it came to my whole college application and all that kind of stuff and what I had to do in the essay and all, I did it all by myself because neither of my parents went to school here. And the application process is very different in England. You take different tests, different stuff. It's just a whole different country with a different curriculum and all that. So, they couldn't really help me with some parts just because they knew as much as I did. You know what I mean? Like, that, what can someone really help you with if they don't really know anything and they haven't even been through it? So, there was that as well. But oh yeah, back to SAT. So yeah, it had like the first test, I guess, because it was harder, had a higher curve, so I got a higher grade on that test. Got 1280 at the time, 1240. Sorry, I got exactly 620 on both halves. So don't ask me which one was easy. Which I got the same exact score. That's how I remember my SAT score, because I got the same exact score on both halves. So I guess. I did have tutoring. Not for that long though. I think I did tutoring for like a month, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly. I only had tutoring for like a month, and then before that, all like the studying I did was like by myself. I bought a bunch of like, what's the Pearsons, Parsons, Pearsons, these PEA, right? So like Pearsons, right? Like the Pearsons books. Barron. I think Barron has an SAT book too. Ooh, I got some other big SAT books. No. That was my AP biology book. I get into like extracurriculars and all that class stuff in a second. I bought some books and I kind of did those. I would actually do them in my classes. I'd be my junior year class. I checked out. Well, until I took my first SAT. That's a long time. When you start school, September, October, November. Yeah, when it was cold, when it started getting like really cold, cause I remember that it was like winter time. When it got really cold before March, I clocked out of my classes. Sorry, I was in my SAT books in the middle of class. I don't really know who was teaching what was going on, who was saying. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have an SAT today. Sorry. This class, next 4 years, it's not adding up. Not adding up. So yeah, I'm gonna do this book. Yeah, anyways. Well, I used to be up in my classrooms SAT practice just because I felt like it. And so that's how I studied for the SAT. I didn't really do anything too crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. I wasn't studying for like years. Like I said, I only had the tutor for a month, and then the rest was just books I got at Barnes and Nobles, to be honest with you. So I think I did some Khan Academy too, if I remember correctly. So a lot of these pretty cheap things, some like I think the book was like $20 or something from Barnes and Nobles. Khan Academy is free. The most expensive thing was the personal tutor, but me and my friends split the cost of that, so then it brought it down a bit. So if you want to get a personal tutor, maybe get it through a few friends or whatever, split the cost of that. That'll probably be a smarter idea. Honestly, truly, when I was with the tutor, the main thing she helped me with was like, it was basically on the SAT, they have like funny questions sometimes. mainly math questions, not so much English questions. They got like they word the questions funny, like ways that you just never really learned in school like that or whatever. So sometimes you need someone who can teach you the way of the SAT. Bar the questions, move what the question is asking. It could be like 1 plus 1. It's gonna word it really funny where it's like you don't even know what it's asking you now. But you need somebody who really knows the SAT and knows how the test works to tell you, oh, well, when you see a question like this, it's really just asking you what is 1 plus 1. And then once you understand that and they tell you how to spot those kind of questions, it makes the whole test way easier. So, in the sense of understanding, you know, them trying to scam you in the questions, that is the best reason to get a tutor. To actually like answer the questions, it's just you just need to do practice tests. Honestly, that's the best thing to do. To really just sit down and do past tests. At the end of the day, a lot of the tests are very, 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 very similar. So just it's really the easiest thing to do. And that's also a way of learning the way they word the questions in the test. You know, if you don't do the whole, if you don't want like a tutor to learn that, you just do the practice questions, and you're gonna start seeing patterns and be like, oh, okay, this is how they word these types of questions. You can just gauge it for yourself, to be honest. Okay, classes I took. Basically, I took regular classes or whatever, but then my junior year, I made sure that my junior year, I took 2 AP classes. I took AP Biology and AP Statistics. Why did I take those? Well, I'm a pre-med student now in my school, so that's why I took biology, AP Biology. I'm not sure if at the time I knew. I think I just wanted to take an AP class, and I was like, well, no to AP Chemistry because I don't know chemistry. Chemistry? Yeah, no. Anyways, we're not even gonna go there. AP Physics. I've never taken regular physics. Why would I do that? Like, why would I do that? I think biology was AP Biology is like, well, my school didn't have regular biology, but so I think that's like what basically like living environment, right? Like that living environment class. I don't know if you guys had that, but that's what my class was in like what my sophomore year or my freshman year. So I guess it was more of an AP of that. I wanted to take 2 APs, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna take AP English because I'm dyslexic, and that just wouldn't make sense. I can't. Why would I do that? AP Chemistry, no. AP Physics, no. AP Language, I could have taken AP Spanish, but no. You know, I know a lot of Spanish, but like, I just took regular Spanish. So I don't really know if I remember exactly. Oh, and then there was AP History. That was what the other one was. And they say, what's that? What they called that? APUSH. Yes, I'm remembering high school stuff. APUSH. Yeah, they say that one's like one of the hardest AP classes, but also the easiest. That makes sense. Like it's not. It's just the most workload. It's not actually the hardest. Like question wise and what they're actually asking you to do and all that kind of stuff is kind of easy. It's just history. But workload wise, it's just a lot of history. They really just throw it on you. Everything, essays, all that. So it's just kind of hard like that. But if that's your thing, a lot of my friends took APUSH instead because obviously it just depends on your thing. Not everyone's good at math and science. That was like, my like interesting classes, because they kind of want to see what you have to submit your transcript and all that kind of stuff. All the classes that you've taken and are taking, you have to have some like good classes on there and all that. So what you take your senior year, they don't really see that so much. And if they do see that, it's like after they've accepted you and you've been through all that anyway. So, also what I did my senior year, I took my well in my high school, everyone's high school is different. And a lot of people's high schools weren't like mine, where you could get to choose your classes so easily. My high school is very much like very similar to like almost like a college where you get to choose your own classes and own schedule type of thing. So my first semester of my senior year, I I took calculus and physics, just kind of in case they wanted to see, because I know some schools and some colleges do ask to see your first semester senior year stuff, because by the time second semester comes, they've already accepted you and all that. So they only want to see your first semester. Some schools, not all, just some. So just in case, I was like, okay, so I can't just have English and government, English and what was the class you have to take? I think it was like economics or something. As my classes, that's just gonna look crazy. It's gonna look like I really gave up, which I did, but they can't know that. Okay, they can't know that. So I was like, okay, let me make it look like I didn't give up school yet, my senior year. So I was like, okay, first semester I'm gonna take math and science. You know, that's the best, easiest way to go. So I took physics, super hard. Anyways, then I took calculus because my teacher let me skip pre-calc. Just made it look, just made my transcript look better if they asked for my senior one. I can't remember which schools did or which schools didn't, but yeah. Anyways, so class wise, that was kind of it. I took regular classes, and then my junior year, obviously two AP classes. Then first semester of my senior year, I took the physics and the calculus class. Extracurriculars. My I think the summer before, yeah, it was the summer going into my junior year. So from sophomore year to junior year, I kind of started pretty early or whatever, and I did an internship at NYU Langone Hospital. Actually, it was actually very easy to apply to, and it was kind of open and whatever. It was just me and like one other girl. Like, I guess just not a lot of people knew about it or whatever. But you guys should probably look it up. It's if you live in New York, of course. I just said it was NYU. But yeah, they had like a summer volunteer program. I just love the tag for it and everything. Um, and I wanted that because I was like, well, I've never done like any type of internship, like anything. I've never done an unpaid job before. So, you know, sometimes they have, you know, some places want to see that you're, you know, not just working and doing everything for money. You know, that's a good whatever, but you know, sometimes they just want to see you do other stuff, but really give back or just anything that just makes you look like a better person, you know, at heart and all that. Not that I'm saying I just did it to make me look like a better person. It was actually very interesting, a very great experience working in a hospital and all that. I really liked it. Um, I would really do it again. I'd do it again now. Like I really did like it. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that internships and stuff, it looks better than saying not better. It just looks as good as. So you should probably have both, like something paid, but something also unpaid. So it looks like yeah, I work and everything, but also you know give back or whatever you want to make it look like. I did that. I was at a job, but Chipotle. Um, then I play sport. I do horse riding. So that was like kind of like my three main curriculum. Oh, and then my sophomore year, I actually started my own club in my high school. I started a skincare club because I knew that I wanted to kind of do something like I was starting to think I knew. Starting to think I knew. That doesn't really sound like English, but we're just gonna keep going with it. But I was kind of, you know, getting more into that sciencey side of things. So I was like, oh, I think I kind of want to do science stuff in college. But even if not, just starting a club. I don't know where I heard it. I heard it somewhere at some point because I know I didn't come up. I didn't just wake up one morning saying I wanted to start a club. Because me and socializing, not the biggest socializer in the world. So, but yes, I did. I started my own club. Found a teacher. Very much High School Musical production. Find the teacher, write the petition, get kids to sign. Very much. Got a few friends, made them like the e-board, like the secretary, vice president, treasurer, da 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 da, or whatever else there is. I I had a little club. We met every Wednesday, I believe, for like the first semester of school. And the second semester, after what? That's Christmas break. After Christmas break, it kind of like flopped or whatever. But I still did it, and it was still in like the school directory and everything. So I definitely put that down on my college application. So I feel like personally, I feel like those things made me kind of stand out. Like my NYU internship, like I had a job. My horse riding and the club. Like those are all extracurriculars, right? Sports, job, volunteer work, and school. Oh yeah, you have to. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say about the club. The club is school participation. That's why I did it. I think because because schools want to see, colleges especially want to see that you engage in your school. Like even if what's good. Well, my school is a performing arts school, so I don't know what everyone's school is or whatever, but even like if I like participated in a play or something, and I was a theater student, so I guess I got into my school for theater. So I guess that worked as well because I put down, well, I'm a screen theater. I'm in a special program in my school. I'm in a screen theater program, so I'm automatically involved in the school. Like I don't even have a choice. That's just part of my classes and part of the reason I'm in the school at this point, honestly. So even if you're not, and even if you weren't in the theater program, you were allowed to audition for plays and all that kind of stuff, and be in the plays or be on costuming. I was very big on like the costuming side and more backstage kind of stuff. But that's involvement in your school that counts as well. So colleges like to see that you spend extra time in school outside of school. No one wants to stay in school longer than they have to, but yes, I used to stay in school until like 8, 9 p.m. at nighttime, working on plays and all that kind of stuff. And anyways, it's not even gonna think about that anymore. But yeah, so they like to see that you participate in your school and do stuff that has to do with your school environment outside of academics. Then college essay. People always say don't make your essay too sad. Like obviously, that's kind of the point of that essay. That college essay. That's like the biggest part, and people they say it's not supposed to be, because when people want to like write a story, the best thing to do is come up with the most, like what's really gonna catch the person. And that is the goal, but don't be too like sad and too not too sad because obviously it just depends on everyone's lifestyle and how you live and all that kind of stuff. But if you have the choice between something that's like medium sad and like super sad, choose the medium sad one. Because I don't know, people say that they don't really like too many sub stories, so they say, and all that kind of stuff. So I guess that's why my essay that I wrote about was about my accent actually. Long story short, got bullied for it a lot of my life and all that kind of stuff when I first moved to America and all that. And I've been very insecure about it ever since. Even now, I'm still very insecure about it. But that was what my essay was about. And about you can kind of see it's like, yeah, it's about me being bullied, but it's not like the worst thing in the world that has ever happened, to a human. So it's like medium sad, like, oh, someone made fun of you for your posh British accent. Like okay, like oh, it was getting sad for a second, and then you said you were British, and then it just cut off. But you know what I mean. That's how it evens out. So if you have something along those lines, kind of, something that made you change, I think the point of it. Oh yeah, and then you have to talk about kind of like what about that is so important, and how does it make you a different person, or how has it made you the person you are today? All that kind of stuff is how you're supposed to relate it back. And obviously, like I said, I'm still kind of like affected by it, so that does make me who I am today. because it's something that I still think about and still on my mind and I'm still trying to deal with. That's how I relate it back to now. So it's like, well, it kind of, helped me grow as a person, quote unquote. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I think this is based on just myself. Obviously, I wrote it, so I can think about what I could have possibly said. So I think it was just, something like, oh, something I'm still dealing with now, but, it's something that has helped me grow and made me into the person I am today and blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of like, if you find a story, you need to relate it back to, well, what does that have to do with you right now? Because 9 times out of 10, the stories from the past. My stories from like elementary school, middle school. So it's like, well, cool, that's years ago. What does that have to do with you now? What does it have to do with you now in high school, going to college? What does that have to do with your life? And then that's how you kind of have to remember to relate it. What else gets you into college? Early admissions. Most of my schools I got into via early admissions. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, if you apply for early admissions, it actually does give you a higher chance of getting into the school that you want to go into. I believe that's why I did it. I don't see why there was any other reason I would do it, and I do vaguely remember doing some research on that kind of stuff. Now, early admissions and early decision is 2 different things. Early admissions is just applying to the school in an earlier section, which has its own deadline, usually by like Christmas. I don't know. I think before Christmas time, because I think you find out during Christmas time whether or not you got in. So, yeah. So, and then early decision is you apply early. If you get into that school early, that's it. That's where you're going. You decided that's where you're going. And you can only do that for one school. Early admissions, though, you can do for all your schools if that's what they allow, and you can also then get accepted to all those schools. Early decision, if you do it and you get accepted to that school, it's like the rest of your applications are now null and void because you can't even go there anymore because you made a commitment to that school via early decision. I have a few friends that did that and they're very happy with their choices. If you know where you're gonna go and you know that this is it's do or die, this is the school today, or like if I don't go here, if it's one of those ones, then I strongly do recommend early decision because schools like to see that. It's like, well, you're definitely gonna commit, so that's even more reasons for us to want you because they want money, scam. But anyways, business, not scam, business. So if you're guaranteed and you're guaranteeing them that you're going to go there, they kind of feel better. Like, okay, well, that's a guaranteed person, so let me take them in. I'm not saying that they always will, but there's higher chances. Early admission, smaller pool of people. Most people aren't applying early. So this kind of connects to both early decision and early action. That's what it's called, early action, not early admission. It doesn't really make a difference though. But yeah, basically because there's a small part of people for all that like the early kind of stuff, it's easier for them to choose between you because there's not as many of you. Now, if you do regular admissions, I'm not saying you won't get in because I definitely got into the school I go to right now. I got into regular decision, so it doesn't make a difference. But just saying that it's just more people, so they have more of a selection of people to choose from. So you and the next person might just be just as good as each other, but there's just so many people that they're gonna have to just weed some people out. It doesn't mean you don't qualify or any of that. They just need to get rid of so many people. But if you apply early, then it's a small amount. So it's like, well, we can accept a lot of you guys because not a lot of you, but just like there's not that many of you anyway. So we can accept you guys just because small pool of people, easier to go through, all that kind of stuff. So if I remember correctly, I got into Penn State for pre-held early admissions, and I got into Adelphi and Fordham early. Did I get into Fordham early or regular? I know I got into Howard regular. I'm not sure if I got into Fordham or not regular. And definitely applied to somewhere else, but I'm not remembering schools right now, and I didn't write anything down, and that's why I write stuff down. But anyways, I go to Stony Brook now. Got into that regular. I think the only school I think I only got into two schools early, which was Penn State. Penn State was actually the school I wanted to go to first. That was actually my number one choice school, and it was the first school I got accepted to. I was very, very excited about that. And I was actually going to go, have my deposit, and I think I was doing the deposit and the card declined. Right? I was doing the deposit and the card declined. Why? I don't know. That was good. Weird flex, but that was good because then I didn't even go there. I went Stony Brook, as everyone knows. I went with one of my best friends that I've been friends with since 7th grade. We've gone to school together all those years since 7th grade. We go to school together now. And we became roommates last year. So there's a lot of things to consider. Consider the type of people that go to the school that you go to, that you want to go to. The living situations, the bathrooms. That was a big thing for me. I don't live in a dorm anymore, in case anyone wondering. I actually moved out and I live in my own apartment. I will do a whole thing on that, like moving out at 19 and all that kind of stuff, and how that's been for me recently. But yeah, you have to like check out all those things. It's just like personal advice kind of here. It's like this is personally coming from me. Like all those things, like the people, the type of people that's there, the type of clubs they have. What's like the aura of the school? Where is the school located? That's a big aura of it too. Like, are you gonna want to stay on campus all the time? Do you want to be somewhere where there's nothing else but your campus, or do you want to go somewhere where, if you make friends or something, you can maybe go bowling or something like 10, 20 minutes away from your campus. There were a few schools that I looked at and that I got accepted to and all that kind of stuff. But the thing was, I'm from two big cities, remember? So I'm from London, I'm from New York City. So there's only so much suburban I can do. Until you're doing too much or too little. Not so the suburbs don't be doing enough. I think that's my problem, to be honest. So you have to just know yourself, to be honest. And the colleges where you learn most about yourself. But I've always been a very like self-aware kind of person and very like mature about myself. Very mature about myself. I'm in English, but like very self-aware kind of person I am, and all that kind of stuff. And I know what I like and don't like and all that. So I kind of quickly realized what would work for me and what wouldn't work for me. And for what I want to go for science, my school was better anyways as a science school. But Penn State is an overall better school because it's Penn State, So when you put all that together, and you just have to just think about the school that you're going to, think about yourself, think about the type of people that seems like they give off. Go tour the campuses. I toured the campuses. Why I almost forget there's like Corona outside right now. I don't even know if you can tour a campus right now. Some schools you can because they're public. You can always go on the campus. Like my school, for example, my school now it's a public school. So if you live anywhere, if you're anybody, you can walk on it. What's the school that's not public? There's a lot of private schools. I don't know why I blanked like that, but I was just thinking about the ones I applied to. But like Fordham, for example, I applied there. You have to go through like security or drive past like a security desk before you go in. You can't just drive onto the campus. So a school like that, you might not be able to tour if they're not doing tours and all that kind of stuff. But if the school is a public school, like a state school or something like that, like Penn State is a state school, so that's public. you can just go onto the campus, and so you can kind of get your own feel of it. That might be better than a tour guide. And you just walk around, and you can see like how long it takes to get there, how the surrounding area, you need to see it before you get there, all that kind of stuff. So it all goes into it. It's like, personally for me, it was a lot to think about just because I didn't even know. I didn't know a single college existed apart from like Harvard and Yale. You know what I mean? My parents didn't go to school here. I don't really know how this college thing kind of worked. Obviously, you hear about college, people go to college, people go to college in England too, so it's not, but it's a very different, they don't have college culture like they have here. Penn State had 100,000 seat stadium. I'm not even sure the football teams in London have 100,000 seat stadiums like that. I'm not even sure if they even do that. So that's just not something that the people around me, aka my parents, were like used to or accustomed to, or could like explain to me or help me with. I was kind of teaching them along the way, and I still am, about like what I'm doing and all that kind of stuff. Luckily, I'm not like, well, I'm an immigrant. I'm not from this country. I had a visa and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm a citizen now, but all that kind of stuff. But for those who of you who's like parents might not like speak English and all that kind of stuff, and you just want extra help or just need to know how to organize yourself and just have that like like you'll learn it yourself, and it's not as hard or as complicated as some might make it sound like, or as you may feel like it is. You'll learn it, you'll get through it. It's really light work and all that kind of stuff. Like, you can always transfer schools if you need to go to a school, maybe local right now, and then do some more research or something. That's a smart idea too. Go to like community college and then transfer, all that kind of stuff. Your grades aren't the best, go to a community college and then transfer. Also, pre-med students, drop some little hints. It's not even just for pre-med kids. Anyone who wants to go to like a graduate school for something. So pre-med kids that want to go to med school, kids who want to go to law school, all that. If you want to go to a separate next school, whatever. Basically, it's not like a hidden gem, but it kind of is. So I applied to health sciences in my school. Why? Because health sciences sounded the close to pre-med. That pre-med is not an actual course. For those who don't know, it's not an actual major. Sorry, for those who don't know, it is a course and a guideline. So you have to fulfill pre-med requirements. It's not like, oh, I'm pre-med, that's my major. No. You have to fulfill pre-med requirements. Now, some schools do have pre-med as a major. Penn State had it as a major. I don't know what that entails per se. Maybe they just make the requirements into an actual major and all that. But yeah, pre-med is a track. It's a pre-med track. So it's like you're supposed to really choose another major and have your own major and do whatever you're doing. But then along with your own major, you have to be taking certain science classes to fulfill the pre-med requirements and all that kind of stuff, right? So just a food for thought type of thing. If you are planning on going to another school and all that type of stuff, obviously they're gonna look at your GPA. I feel like maybe this has to do a bit more with science kids just because they make the science classes so hard. I don't know so much about classes you have to take for like law, but I would suspect that those are a bit more on the humanities side of classes. And then I guess a bit more math based, more writing based, right? So it's like that's more humanities and all that. But for pre-med, like you don't always have to be a biology major or pre-health major or any of that kind of stuff. You could be a history major. You just have to fulfill your pre-med track. You have to just take the class. You have to have a major anyway, so whatever. But they also look at your, of course they look at your grades, but whatever. But choose a major that you know is going to get you a good grade. That's the smartest thing to do. Because no matter what, even if your science grade kind of isn't the best, your GPA will be a bit high because you chose a different major that was kind of like easier, quote unquote, than like a science major per se. Yeah, that was like kind of like a little gem. This girl who was older than me, she was graduating already. She kind of told me because basically she was a health science major at my school, and basically for that major specifically, health science, it sounds like it has to do with pre-health, pre-med and all that kind of stuff, which it did, of course. But it was like, it was kind of making her take extra stuff that she didn't really need to do nor take for pre-med requirements. You had to like take anatomy and some other hard, like super hard science classes and all that kind of stuff, which is all necessary and all that, but it wasn't necessary for pre-med. You learn those things in med school anyway, so that's why it's not a pre-med requirement. So, and just her luck was that those are the classes bring her down, the classes that were quote unquote unnecessary. So that's kind of why you should, double check and just really look into what you want to do and make sure you're on the best and smartest path. Because listen, boo, work smarter, not harder. That's the end. That's it. That's actually how we're gonna close this out. Work smarter, not harder. Period. Anyways, get a load of this guy. Anyways, so thank you guys for watching my video, and if you made it to this part and you made it to the end, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is like all the way over here, which is embarrassing. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, any question about anything at all, you can leave it in the comments below, or you can DM me. I'll leave. I never know where I'm gonna leave my socials, so wherever it pops up is wherever it pops up. You can DM me, preferably to my main page, because I'm also gonna put my lash page up again. Yes, I'm wearing my lashes right now too. Yes, we're not gonna forget about the promo. I do giveaways every month for my lashes, so don't forget. I'm gonna tell you guys, basically leave like I'll leave an emoji like right here or something of the heart. Comment that on the pictures. That's all you need to do to enter the giveaways, or repost a picture from my page, from my last page, repost it on your story or something and tag me. Really, anything that will catch my attention. That's really how the giveaway goes, But apart from that, thank you guys for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave any video suggestions of what anything else you guys want me to talk on, speak about, any other school related stuff, fashion related stuff, makeup related stuff. It doesn't really matter. It literally can be about anything. See you in my next video, guys.